Hey guys, welcome to the weekly sip. So, what do you guys have going on this week?
Uh,
Hello, Robin.
we got a lot going on this week, but something sort of top of mind is power of attorney.
Yes.
A power of attorney is an estate planning document that you would have drawn up that would allow someone who you designate as your attorney, in fact, to handle your either financial or medical affairs on your behalf. Um, and there is several different sort of flavors of a power of attorney. We could talk about the financial side and the healthcare side, but there's also um, what they call springing power of attorney, which would come into play if you become incapacitated. And then there's a power of attorney that is non durable, which if you become incapacitated, then it is no longer into effect. And then there is a durable power of attorney, which if you become incapacitated, it does remain in effect. And not a legal advisor, but as a financial advisor, we come across these documents that are drafted by attorneys for our clients. And so we have a good working knowledge sort of how they work. And one thing that came up specifically today, or this week rather, is when you are the client or the what they call is the principal, if you're the person that is giving the power of attorney to the who you designate, they have the ability to help you, and they have the legal capacity to help you. And when there's, but they're supposed to be honoring your wishes. Um, but if there's a disagreement between the power of attorney, then and the principal or the attorney in fact and the principal, then the principal's wishes should override. Um, that is if there is everybody's healthy and everybody's doing good. But as people are getting older and they may start experiencing cognitive decline or capacity, and had to make a tough call this week on working with a client who is not their former self, and sort of had to get involved with the power of attorney and figure out what's what, and there was a disagreement, and we had to um, sort of put this up the ladder here because there was some allegations of elder abuse, which we did not want to. We were sad to hear, and weren't really prepared or we weren't exactly ready to hear this news, but we were prepared in sort of what we were going to do to kind of make sure that we were doing right by our client. Um, so if there is some suspicious activity that's going on, forgetfulness, um, if there are if reports of money going missing or different things, and we're receiving requests from our clients, and it just seems a little strange. What we do is we reach out to the either a trusted contact, if we have a trusted contact on file, or a power of attorney if we have one of those on file, and we ask them what's going on. And then they tell us a little bit about it, and then before we proceed, we file a report with our broker dealer to make sure that we're documenting what's going on, because we always want to honor what our clients' requests are. And but if there is some red flags that are happening with regards to potential elder abuse, we might want to take a step back and maybe hold on a little bit. And so we're always trying to take precaution.
So, in this situation with the client, were we working with a durable or a springing power of attorney?
It was a durable power of attorney that was in effect, and it in the language in it says who the guardian or conservator should be should um, there be incapacitation of the client, or if they're lacking the mental capacity. But then the question is, do you work with him until you have a letter saying that the client is in good health, or do you wait until there's a letter to say that there isn't? And when where do you draw that line? It was a real interesting sort of position to be in. Not really comfortable position to be in this week, but try and make the right decisions for everybody involved. And basically, think there is an ongoing scam that we sort of are safeguarding our clients and assets from.
Yeah, one of the things, Robin, that was beneficial to us is knowing the client for a long period of time. So we know tendencies. We also had the ability to talk through some of the historical decisions that he's been making. So when we started identifying some cognitive issues, it was very, very minor. We brought in his daughter, and his daughter was able to serve as the power of attorney for the last 4 years. So we brought them into the meetings, so she would be able to help as this decline, which we're seeing now, a severe decline, continue to progress. So with her in the know, she is familiar with where his accounts are, etc. That's really, really helped us. And what I'm finding with this specific client is he can remember 4 years ago. I mentioned to him today, remember 4 years ago when we drafted this power of attorney and nominated your daughter? He goes, oh yeah, I remember that. So in other conversations today, I don't remember that. Did I say that? I get so confused, and this is the language he's using, but he was able to specify that he remembered 4 years ago. So part of our job is to recognize different patterns. And we were definitely recognizing a different pattern with this particular client. Took the necessary steps. So I feel very comfortable with our position and protecting the assets from the scamming that's going on right now, because of the work that we've done over those years.
So we know that once we see the warning signs, we reach out to the trusted contact, but who gets to make the final decision that the client themselves is incapacitated so that they no longer can make any decisions?
Good question. We notified the compliance department and the senior abuse department at LPL Financial, and are getting guidance from them on what is either required or what they would prefer. And to answer your question, you need a medical professional to do an evaluation, a mental evaluation on the client, and they would deem this, whoever is evaluating that, the client would deem incapacitation, or he still has the cognitive ability to make his own decisions. So that's the missing piece right now. And in dealing with mental illness, that at least from my experience, there's a lot of denial, and that's part of the disease where they don't think that anything is wrong, or they get very frustrated and not remembering, and then they get frustrated when people try to help them. And there's exhibits of all of that happening with this particular case. So our next step is to find a way to get a medical evaluation for him. So
we find these situations difficult when you have to like essentially go back to the family and have these conversations.
It's difficult. These are definitely difficult conversations to be had between our clients, their family members. We're here, to kind of be in between a little bit, to help see both sides, and because it's definitely not a good conversation to be having with your parents or your loved ones, and it could be confrontational and everything. And so we definitely want to treat everybody with dignity and with respect that they deserve. And so, you know, when somebody is calling you and asking you to liquidate their account, you know, it's their money. We're just managing it for them. So we want to make sure that and it's invested according to what their stated investment objectives are. So when you get phone calls that are contrary to what the investment objectives are, and there's a you know, clear signs of cognitive decline and an apparent scam that is being perpetrated, you know, we kind of put up a wall here and say, hey, wait a minute, we take a few steps back and see, you know, see what's going on and contact everybody. And, you know, it's also difficult when people maybe not live so close and you have, you've been living independently for, you know, for a long time. And now you need to have, you know, care come in. And so, sort of associated with this, or really, as we could talk about, since we're talking about power of attorney, is when to get one, when to put one in place. And I would say there's not really a bad time to do this because accidents happen, and you know, we recently had even somebody who is parents of a college student who's 18 years old, so they're able to you know, conduct their affairs on their own, and the parents sent their son away to school, and then they had him get a power of attorney so that if he had any medical issue that they could take direction from him, or that the medical providers could take direction from his parents, because they, once he turned 18, they no longer had that right. And so, like, that would be an instance to get your, you know, power of attorneys done extremely soon. They were very proactive in what they were doing, but you're going to want to get a power of attorney in place when you're still healthy, when everybody is of sound mind. You can't wait until things go on. And just dealing with your own sort of mortality, or you know, a future where you're not once you know yourself who you are today can be difficult. So one of the things when we meet with clients and we are reviewing their, you know, accounts and estate plan and everything, is we address the power of attorney and ask them if they have one, because we want to make sure that the document's in place. We want to be able to read it and see what it says, so we know how to act. We also want to log it to the account, so that way you know, everything is documented, and so that we can actually take the direction from the power of attorney and when we need it. So power of attorney, get one. Make sure that you're covered. If you can't handle your own business, you got to have somebody that you trust that's going to be able to stand in there when you're not able to.
And one more thing I wanted to add is these documents do go stale. So it's not complete one, put it on the shelf and not look at it for 20 years. You need to look at it every couple of years. One, to make sure that the fiduciary that you've named, you still like, and is still in your life, or it's not too old, because financial institutions, when you try to present the financial power of attorney and you want to use the financial power of attorney, they're going to say it's too old.
Yeah, I think a lot of times 5 years is kind of that time frame.
Yeah. I want to say
And-
that's the time frame too.
And if you don't necessarily need to get a new one, but you may need to sign what they call as an affidavit of effectiveness, which basically reiterates, yes, this power of attorney document that I had drafted 5 years ago still is in effect.
Right.
And when you are getting this stuff done, it's also, they need to be notarized. So if you happen to know a notary and you are getting these documents drafted, make sure that your notary's around. Rob might be able to help you.
Right.
Yes, I am here if you need a notary, guys.
There you go. But you can't notarize your own.
Exactly. And no family members either.
Right.
Noted. But, well, yeah, thanks guys for hopping on here to discuss power of attorney. it's great to sort of just talk about things and what's happened, and hope you guys have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Good to see you. Bye.
Yes.